Welcome to Creative Thinking with Kim Thomas, a podcast from the Village Chapel in Nashville, Tennessee. Together we'll explore where faith and art meet and how creativity can draw us closer to the heart of God. Our hope is to inspire, inform, and encourage creative thinking from a biblical perspective. For show notes, resources, or to learn more about our ministry, visit thevillagechapel.com. Now, here's Kim.
As we come to the close of Lent, we turn toward the final feast. Today we receive peace, not as the world gives, but as a gift that rests on us when we rest in God. I rest beneath the Almighty shade. My griefs expire, my troubles cease. Thou, Lord, on whom my soul is stayed, wilt keep me still in perfect peace. Charles Wesley. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Numbers 6:24-26. I served my term in the nursery. There were 2 fully grown women, 4 children under the age of 3. Even with such a small group, there were too many crayons to be eaten, too many chairs to fall from, and too many of them and not enough of us. I was a nervous wreck from the moment the parents left. Every activity introduced a new fear. During the Bible story, one boy crawled across the table. While coloring, another attempted to eat a yellow ochred crayon. At snack time, I worried they would choke on grapes. A wee girl nearly met her end under my chair as I leapt to block a curious finger from an electrical outlet. And throughout all of it, a sweet blonde boy quietly but relentlessly requested, "Could we watch VeggieTales?" Just before our hour and a half ended, I discovered a small bottle in the toy box. A thin film of soapy water stretched across a plastic ring. When blown, it produced something miraculous. Bubbles. For 10 glorious minutes, we blew and chased them. We took turns, we laughed. Small hands, puffy and reaching, rose toward floating orbs of light, giggling, filled the room as bubbles burst into puddles on the floor. I noticed the wee girl stretching for a bubble she couldn't catch, unaware that one had already landed perfectly on her shoulder. The bubbles could not be seized, but they rested where they chose. That afternoon, God reminded me of something I forgot so easily. Peace is not something I manufacture or chase down. It rests. It is given. In seasons thick with anxiety or overexcitement, God has promised peace, not as the world gives, but the kind that guards the heart and mind. Shalom, wholeness, completeness, and rest. In John's Gospel, Jesus tells us, "Peace I leave you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and don't be afraid." The word for troubled here is tarasso, to be agitated, stirred, restless. As we've journeyed through these practices of Sabbath rest, we have learned that peace does not come by eliminating trouble, but by ceasing from restlessness. There was a time in my life when everything I pursued felt like those bubbles. Career goals and approval and achievement. I chased them all only to watch them burst. Even the ones I caught never satisfied for long. There was always someone more talented, more admired, more accomplished, more able. One day, sitting quietly in a sunlit room, something shifted for me. My body relaxed in a way it hadn't for years, and I realized what I wanted more than anything, more than success, more than recognition, was peace. Not peace as the world gives, but the peace of Christ, the peace Christ promised. It shouldn't surprise me that God used children to teach me this. Later that evening, we attended a school Christmas program of our friends. Children in white shirts and red suspenders sang of silent nights and ringing bells, and parents squeezed into rows that were too small for all the adult bodies that tried to sit there, adults mouthing words along with their children. And then a curly-haired fourth grader stood and said simply, "At Christmas, we receive God's gift of Jesus. That is what peace is all about." Perhaps peace comes only when the soil of our hearts has been turned enough to receive Christ again. And not only at salvation, but in daily surrender. The turning of that soil is not always fun, but sometimes that's when the peace lands. Jesus never promised a trouble-free life. In John 16, he tells us plainly that trouble will come. But he also assures us there that the world and all that is in it belongs to him. Peace, then, is not the absence of storms. It is the presence of Christ within them. So how do we place ourselves where peace might rest? Not through formulas, but through posture. We relinquish control, acknowledging that some things will never be ours to manage. We remember that surrender does not leave us untethered. God still holds the line. We do what we can. We release what we cannot. We name our fears in moments of calm, loosening our grip. And we build safe havens, people who will step into the boat with us when storms arise. Peace doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it lands quietly, like a bubble, resting gently where it will. My next turn in the nursery was a long time after that, but I had learned so much. I loosened my grip, and I knew I needed to trust the one who speaks peace, even when I don't see it. And maybe it would be a good idea to keep a small supply of bubbles nearby, ready reminders that peace is not something to be caught, but something to be received. So our journey ends here, hopefully with more silence than noise, more trust than fear, and maybe more peace than anxiety. Friends, cease, feast, and receive Sabbath rest this Lent. Amen.
We're so glad you joined us for Creative Thinking with Kim Thomas. If today's episode encouraged or inspired you, share it with friends or family, and be sure to subscribe and leave a review. To explore more resources or to support our ministry, visit thevillagechapel.com.